Oh, you motherfucker. All right, everybody, welcome to the third episode of this show. This show is called, actually, just really quickly, we're actually changing the show's name because I am not going to be the focal point of the show. We are going to be the focal point of the show. So no longer is it Big Red Says, which was so fucking narcissistic of me. But basically, so quickly, the whole plan for this show was like, I'm going to be the host and I'm going to have all my friends come in and we're all going to do happy times. And then honestly, I did the 2 episodes with you guys and I was like, fuck it, I'm just doing the show with these guys. So I mean, you guys are excited with doing it. So so we are now called Exclamation Points, the podcast. And so our tagline is going to be pointed conversations about pointless topics, which is beyond true, especially this fucking episode. So of course, as always, Matt Schofield and Becca Fenner with me from Massachusetts and Vermont. I'm in Rhode Island. This is fucking COVID, so whatever. Anyways, so quick before we get into it, I just want to bring up this thing. So take a lesson from something that happened with me. So actually Schofield's in the process of buying a house right now. And this actually definitely applies to you. Although you're going to sit there and go, Jimmy, you're a fucking idiot. Because I know you're going to say it. But anyways.
That's usually my tagline.
Say that with
exactly. So we went, when my wife and I were buying this house, we proceeded to need a television for the living room because her brother actually gave me was a 65 or 70 inch television, but we were like, it's too big for the living room. Sure. We're going to put it in the den and I'm going to play my fucking video games on it. So I'm not going to lie.
That's longer than my mother is tall. So that's fair.
Well, okay. Is your mother that short?
My mother's 4
You
foot.
walk into a store and use your mother as...
my mother's under 5 feet tall. She's 4'11". She's very small.
Put your mom up against the television like that, and you just...
My mother is like a freaking like Muppet. She's very small.
Okay,
sure. My dad's 6 feet tall, so I don't know how that worked out. So
we don't have time to unpack all this, Jimmy. The TV.
No.
Anyways, so the whole point of this conversation is... So in the summer of 2019, when we bought the house, we were like, hey, we need a television for the living room. So we bought a Samsung from Target, but here's where we messed up. We got the floor model because it was a discontinued Samsung television that nobody else in the Target chain had that was already severely discounted. And then nobody had any box versions of it. So they only had a couple of displays. So we bought it and it didn't even last us like a year and a half, basically. Before like this, we started getting this black bar like right here on the screen, and so we were okay with it. It was pretty funny. We were watching the new Wrong Turn, and there's a scene in it where this guy gets laid down, and then this other guy is going to give him his punishment, which is to kill him, which is to hit him in the face with a huge stick. And literally, it was like a sensor bar. It was going across his head, and the guy's just pounding away. So that was actually.
I'd like to point out too that like punishing someone usually is like, hey, we're gonna like correct your behavior, right? Killing them does not really serve that point.
I mean, it stops the behavior.
It does. Oh no, it absolutely did.
Sure.
Oh yeah, it was very effective. And honestly, just really quick, that Wrong Turn was actually really good. Very, very lengthy, but really good. But it shouldn't have been called a Wrong Turn film. It should have been called something else. But whatever. Anyways, so here's the other thing. So all of a sudden, like a week and a half ago, I was watching television. My wife was in the other room, and it goes pop, and the black bar disappeared. And I'm like, yeah. And all of a sudden, it went, poof.
Yeah.
And then it's like the fucking half of the screen, which is
that black bar was holding.
Then that person like, oh, I feel healthy, and then you just die.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. More, but yes, it's exactly what happened. So, but here's the good thing though. This is where learn a lesson from me. Buy the protection plan. A lot of people are like, the protection plan is bullshit. You're not going to spend any money. And then I'm not going to lie, 9 times out of 10, yes, it will happen. Your thing will be okay. And then all of a sudden it'll shit the bed right after the protection plan runs out. So whatever. But this time it worked out. We got literally like $50 less than what we spent on it back in cash from them. And they were just like, it was funny because they were just like, no, we're done. Just here's a check. We're done with you. So now we have a Insignia, which in our living room, which is fucking gorgeous. It actually is. It's a 4K, like 4K UHD or whatever, LED, and it's even better than the last one when we first installed that one. Like
you're getting whatever the newer model is, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, so get the protection plan. Never buy a fucking floor model from anybody.
Yeah, if I'm buying anything over like $100-ish, and it's electronic, I try to buy the protection plan as well.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like video games, like, hey, well, the protection plan. I'm like, no, it's $50 or like $40. Who gives a crap? If it breaks, I'm spending another $30 on a digital code so it doesn't break. I don't give a crap. But a TV or like buy the Xbox or if I do eventually get a PS5 down the road, might have to plan for that. And if I'm going to buy the next couple of years.
No, Becca, no.
Okay, you guys are overestimating how little I want to deal with returns. Because I will just be like, well, I guess I don't have a PlayStation now, as opposed to like doing anything to fix it. Even if I had the plan.
Now,
like that is a one-time transaction.
Is that because doing anything electronic like in Vermont is difficult because it's harder to get between places?
No.
Or is that just you?
In general. Yeah.
Okay.
This is anything in my life. If I buy clothes online, I'm like, I have to know that I'm willing to accept this cost if it doesn't fit, because I'm never going to return it.
No.
Like if I bought like a really expensive TV that was over $500, like $500 might be my cap. Like PlayStation 5 just came in underneath it.
A penny, one tiny cent.
No, I mean, I just bought 2 new pairs of jeans because I'm not humble bragging here, but I had to buy new jeans because I've just lost 40 pounds.
Oh, fuck.
So, yeah.
I thought you were bragging that you had the money to buy jeans.
Right. I just humble brag. Buy like, $30 worth of jeans.
I was bragging about other things before the show started.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Don't even.
Yeah. But I returned. It was an easy process. But like, yeah, I get that. Sometimes it's a real pain in the ass.
Oh, I agree with that. But...
And it's not even like I'm just going to I'm so rich I can afford to replace. It's like, no, I'm just willing to live without the thing. Like the inconvenience of me talking to another person in customer service and like dealing with all that.
Yeah, that's also why
it's worth $500 to me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
To be fair though, that's also why I'm waiting a couple years to get the PS5, because usually the price goes down, and then you're buying like the 3rd generation at a lower cost, and it's a better.
Also, it'll have like more storage and stuff.
Yeah, usually the hard drive's better, and they're like, oh, we've worked out the kinks, and now it's like $100 less than you would have bought 2 years ago. I'm like, all right. My backlog's so huge anyway, I'm not gonna be missing it.
I agree with you, but for some reason in my head, I was like, I fucking need this thing. I need this thing. Like once
this is the first time I've been able to afford the new console when it was new, and I couldn't get it because it just wasn't anywhere.
Yep.
And that kind of made me sad. But I just got mine yesterday. It came in, and I'm playing Mass Effect Andromeda, which is a PS4 game. So I'm like not even using it to its capacity. So but it was just like, oh, okay, I've got it. Now what?
So I did the same thing. I played Astro's Playground, which is obviously made to be played on the PlayStation 5.
Sure.
And then I've played no PS5 games on it yet.
Yeah.
But speaking of things you absolutely want, Red, that you can't always get.
Oh.
Why don't we move into today's topic?
Yeah, which is food. I mean, come on. Yeah. I love how you humble bragged you lost 40 fucking pounds right before we're going to talk about things that we ate to stuff our faces to get big. So you're an asshole.
Also, I love that Jimmy told that whole story without explaining that the reason he was talking about it was because
it's because
behind it.
Yeah, that's why. Okay.
Well, it was funny when I pointed out to you guys both were like, "That's the TV."
It just looks like your couch is fucked up. It just looks like a couch cushion.
It's because it's like it's half like.
Why don't you dust your couch, Jesus?
Yeah, so
yeah, dude.
So it's half because we threw the pillow on it, and then the cats have been stepping over on this side. So
fantastic.
That was literally the whole.
the whole 40-pound thing. It's the same thing. You don't want to take addiction advice from a guy who's never done drugs. You don't want to take diet advice from a guy who's never been fat.
Yeah,
so there you
that's
go.
your accreditations.
That's my accreditation. This is all just my street cred, Bobby. That's all this is.
Like Richard Simmons.
I'm a walking diploma.
Yeah.
Like Richard Simmons was fat before he became, and what's his name? The pre-pedophile Jared from Subway. I mean, he used to be fat too, and then he
had the pants.
Yeah. Actually, I met him one time when I was working at AF. Literally, I didn't.
How old are you?
I
was too old for him.
That was awful.
That was
fast food. Let's talk about fast food.
Oh man, that was, oh God.
What's hilarious is that I met him years before that whole thing happened, and then literally like the week of that thing happening, it became a memory in my like Facebook story or whatever. And so people literally were like, "Why the fuck do you still have this up here?" And I'm like, because he was a guy I met. What do I say? Like I think I redid the caption of like pre-pedophile Jared or whatever.
I mean, it wasn't. It was pre-discovered. He was
pre-discovered. Sorry, yeah, right. Yeah, it's not like
all of a sudden. Now I've caught it. You're like, no, I think that was always kind of the case for whatever reason.
It is a weird. I'm not gonna lie. It is a weird feeling having. Obviously, I only met him for like 45 minutes or something like that.
Sure.
But it is a very weird feeling to all of a sudden have a worldwide story break about this person that is a person you've met before and you had a great interaction with. Like, for instance, if God, knock on wood, if God fucking forbid The Rock ever has something horrific come out about him, I'm going to cry. I will cry on their show.
The whole world would cry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like,
I'm the world's darling.
I got to hang out with. He literally on air said I was a cool dude because we had a whole conversation in the elevator. I was the one who got to go downstairs and bring him up and stuff. We had a whole conversation about like who I am, what I do, and everything else.
Let's not even talk about this because we're gonna jinx it, and he's gonna do something stupid, and we're gonna.
Oh yeah, knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Let's not do that.
So yeah. So anyway, so Jared,
so can we all agree though, as we go into this conversation, do we consider Subway to be fast food?
No, it's called garbage.
Yeah, because it's just terrible.
It's just sandwiches.
And it's bad.
And they're made fast.
There's tuna's not even tuna. I mean,
but that's like what fast food is. Like, it's stuff that you cut corners in order to get it to people quickly, and that's what they do.
But
not that a sandwich ever like,
I would say most fast food actually is like very tasty. Not necessarily good for you, but tasty. And I find most of the time I have food in some ways I'm relatively disappointed with my food. I'm not disappointed with fast food usually. I'm not disappointed in myself.
Dude, my butt is disappointed with my choice. So, like, that's all I got to say about Subway. I liked it when I was younger. Then all of a sudden, my body was like, "Hey, 7-year switch, boom, diarrheaville." Like,
well, okay, wait.
Segue. Jeez.
Before we go, no, I need to know what you're ordering because I only ever just get like an Italian sub. So it's like, how do you fuck up deli meat? Is basically what I'm dealing with. But are you guys getting like specialty weirdness?
I find the bread not to be very tasty. The meat is a little rubbery. It's too salty. Like having good sandwiches. Like I live in a town that's all Jewish delis everywhere. So having good sandwiches and having Subway, I'm like, this is crap compared to like a really good like Jewish deli like Reuben or like turkey or something, like a really really good sandwich.
You're making me hungry. I mean, I already ate. By the way, I had Pizza Hut. While we're talking about fast food, I had Pizza Hut for dinner last night and tonight.
Wow, big spender over here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dollar pizza. Yeah.
That was three
pizza.
Pizza. No, so
what's our topic today, Jimmy?
So it's about fast food items that So basically, foods that we either grew up with or like say limited time items that came and went that we really loved that they just don't serve anymore. Or it's an item that like they do a douchebag move about that, like, hey, every 8 years we're gonna fucking release it or whatever. So like
the Disney vault of fast food.
The Disney vault of fast food. I love that. Get it down before we put it back in the vault.
Exactly. Well, all right. Here's a good example. Taco Bell. Let's point out the fact that Taco Bell is the absolute fucking worst at this. Their nacho fries should just be on the fucking menu all the goddamn time. Yes, I love the TV ads with their fake trailers for things, but I fucking hate how they tease you. They're like, hey, we got the fries. Oh, 3 weeks later. Oh, hey, we got the fries 3 months later. Oh!
So they do it multiple times in a year. It's not just like a seasonal thing.
They do it like they'll have it out for like literally a month and a half. Then they'll drop it for like 2 or 3 months. Then all of a sudden they're like, hey, we got it back. And then they'll drop it and then they'll be like, ha ha. So, yeah. Like, and then Taco Bell also does it with they actually dropped a year or two ago one of my favorite items. They got rid of all of their potato items for whatever reason. So one of my favorite items from there is the $1 soft shell spicy potato like taco whatever. Like just I don't know why I could eat like
potato taco.
Yeah, so basically it's a soft taco, and they just fill it with like some lettuce and some deep fried chunks of tomato. Oh my god, potato, and I'm sorry, the Irish people in me are yelling. But anyways, potato, lettuce, and then like this spicy sauce stuff, and it was like on the dollar menu for like literally like forever. And then all of a sudden it dropped it like a year or two ago, and then just in like the last 2 weeks or something like that, they were like, hey, we brought it back, and I was like, hey, that night I had 3. So, like
I'll tell you, the interesting thing with Taco Bell for me is I remember in high school, years and years and years ago, when most of you weren't even alive.
You're not that old.
Well, you were alive, Jimmy. Fen was probably,
I was knee-high to a frog.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Right. We had Taco Bell a couple of times. Wasn't a huge fan, right? And it seemed like most people that I was friends with in high school, most of the people in my school and most people I knew, didn't really like Taco Bell that much. Never really thought about it. Went to college, never had Taco Bell. I had Taco Bell when I was probably like 15, 16, and then never again until a couple of years ago when I started working with you, Jimmy. But not you specifically, but like you and the other people. And they're like, oh, we're ordering food for everyone for like hanging out like after work or something. Taco Bell. And I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from? Like,
I know where
like Taco Bell's terrible. Like we all call it taco smell because we hated the damn place, right?
Wow.
But now I've had Taco Bell a couple of times since then, and I have to say, you know, based on everything, I think I was right. It's not great.
I mean, no, I don't think I don't know. I'm not gonna speak for Jimmy. Maybe he does, but like, I don't think anyone thinks that they're great. Like, if you talk to someone, they're like, "Yeah, this is not real like Mexican food. Like, you can get better tacos literally anywhere." But there's a specific like itch that it scratches that is specific to Taco Bell.
That's kind of my thing with fast food in general. There are fast food places that I really like because they're doing food that I think is fine. Like, you can have a really good burger, right? You could go to like, for me, like Boston Burger Company does really, really good burgers, right? Like gourmet sort of burgers. But sometimes I don't really want a huge freaking, giant burger. I just want like a burger real quick and go. So like, I'll just go to McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or wherever we're going to go. We can obviously talk about those in a second. But Taco Bell for me, like, I don't ever want just like a quick shitty taco, right? Like if I want a taco, I want an actual taco. That's for me. Like, I don't know. Burgers, I'm like, yeah, sure, you gotta have a different quality, or even pizza. Like, I like Domino's and Pizza Hut, sure, and those are shitty pizzas, but I like them. But sometimes I want to go like upper crust or like a really good pizza place and get a good piece of pizza, right?
Oh, yeah.
For tacos, I feel like I can get a really good taco really fast, so why would I ever get a shitty taco, right? Tacos were supposed to be street food from the get-go, right? They're quick and easy. So I never understood the whole fascination with Taco Bell. Like, go to Qdoba. Qdoba's kind of fast food, and it's much better quality than Taco Bell.
Well,
But like that, that's the thing. Is like, you don't want that though. Like, when you're craving Taco Bell, you're craving something different than what you would traditionally associate with a taco. It's whatever toxic sludge. Yeah. And I think it might be because like you were indoctrinated young, that like you get the craving. So like, if you missed it as a kid, you just like don't get that weird hankering for like disgusting sludge.
That's why I always look kind of cross-eyed everyone at work who's always talking about Pokemon. I'm just like, nah, I missed that by a few years. Like, my nostalgia is Dragon Ball Z. Sorry, guys. Right?
Oh no, for me, Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, Power Rangers too. Yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball Z, Power Rangers, they're kind of similar. Flying around, punching each other. It's the same sort of thing.
Yes and no. I mean,
Dragon Ball Z is a lot more violent. Fair enough.
Oh yeah. But also, usually with Power Rangers, one fight will last only one episode, not 1,700. So.
Fair.
Oh, shots fired!
What's there, bitch?
I'm not gonna disagree with that. That's true.
Hey, I made a fucking point. So point me. Why did I?
Let's put it up on the board. I'll just keep this up for the rest of the
No, I don't
time.
know why.
But I agree with you. Based on ads, like, I don't know much about Taco Bell. Based on ads, I agree with you. Like, just something like the Quesalupa or something just came out. He keeps saying, I saw an ad this afternoon about it, right?
By the way,
I do it all the time.
That too. Yep.
I mean, the thing that I always look forward to every year, which I don't know if I'm actually going to do this year because I'm really trying to lose some weight, is the Shamrock Shake. Always gets me every time. But at least that's seasonal, right? So that actually makes some sense why it comes back around. Mm-hmm. But I love that thing when it comes around. I'm a huge mint guy anyway. I love like mint ice cream and mint fraps and all that stuff. So
I like mint ice cream. I find the Shamrock Shake to be pretty disgusting. But I don't always, but like when it comes, because it's like associated with like St. Patrick's Day and stuff, it's like it feels like it's related to the holiday. Like on the day this year, I was like, oh, I should go out and get Shamrock Shakes and my grandmother. But then I was like, it's a pandemic and I don't really want one, so I didn't do it. But like, that was why I wanted it, not because I'm like, ooh, I really have a hankering for a fake minty shake.
That's fair.
Yeah. No, actually, they did. What was it last year? I think it was. They did the Chips Ahoy version, which I thought was interesting.
Chips Ahoy?
Just put some chocolate with the mix.
See, what did you mean? Did you do a Chips Ahoy for Speak Like a Pirate Day? That was
there you go.
Yeah, right.
No, they should hire you.
Chips Ahoy. I mean, that'd be good.
No, so basically they made a McFlurry with the Shamrock Shake, and then they put chunks of Chips Ahoy in it.
Oh,
I didn't try that one, but I tried the regular McFlurry with that was pretty good.
See, if I saw that, I put that 40 pounds right back on.
Yeah, exactly.
Shamrock Shake was always one that got me. I know everyone talks about the McRib coming back from McDonald's. That always was terrible.
Right? I don't. The only like context I have for that is like like cafeteria ribs, which were always really weird. But like that's what I'm imagining is on a sandwich. So when people talk about the McRib, I'm imagining something really gross, but everyone gets really excited about it.
No,
I've
it's
never had
gross. It's very
it. It is
gross.
gross. Okay.
There was literally there was a comic that when it came out a couple months ago, there was literally a comic somebody had posted.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was literally the most perfect thing. It was just like the first square. By the way, I'm not gonna lie, I love that I can see myself in Zoom because it makes it look good. Anyway, so in the comic, it was like 8 years ago, and this guy's like, "Oh my god, McRib is back," and then it shows him eating, and he's like, "This is fucking disgusting." It's like, and today he's like, "Oh my god, it's back! I've never had one before," and he goes, it's shit.
He's always like, "I'll remember this is bad. I want to try it next time." And comes back and goes, "Oh, I should try that again.
Exactly.
Maybe I like it now." Like, why do I do this to myself every time?
That's the power of the vault. You forget.
The thing that gets me is I worked at McDonald's when I was a kid, back when I wasn't in Taco Bell, and the McRibs come frozen, right, in the shape of those ribs. It's all just preformed, like processed, like pork bits, right, all mushed together to look like ribs, but there's no bones in it or anything. It's just meat. It's gross. Right, and then you just cook them, and people just slather them with that damn sauce, and it's no thanks. I've had it once, and it was like eating seasoned rubber. It was awful.
It was when they brought it back, I was like, I'll have one, and then they accidentally put a second one in the bag, and I was like, all right, I hate my ass today, but okay, here we go.
How do those taste though, Jimmy?
It was actually okay. It wasn't that bad personally, but then again, I mean, my family. Like my family live, so I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, and then of course I got my parents. So there's 6 people in this family. So obviously when we when we all started hitting our teenage years, when we started getting big boys. I mean, we basically would spend like $20 or $30 at Wendy's and get the dollar menu, and just pig out. And honestly, I would definitely do that to get today again, if Wendy's didn't fuck it up. As soon as he died, as soon as Dave Thomas died, they fucked up the dollar menu so bad at first. Like literally, he wasn't even cold in the ground, and they were like, "Hey, dollar menu? That was just fuck that shit." And they literally got rid of it within like 3 weeks of his death. Literally 3 weeks. I'm not even joking. I am so to this day, I'm still so fucking pissed about this shit.
They don't have a dollar menu at all anymore.
Yeah, what is this?
So they have like the value menu.
Yeah, I thought they sold
it. The cheapest item was like $1.19. So I guess you can say like inflation or whatever, but
that's okay. Let's bring up the Costco thing though. You know at Costco how they have like a combo with like a hot dog and a soda, and it's been like $1 forever, and everyone's like, hey, inflation is a thing. It's been the same way for like 40 years. Let's change it. And the guy's like, if the CEO or whoever it is like, if you change that, I will fucking kill you. Like that. He's like,
really?
That's the hill he's gonna just die on. Well, it's partially because like the point of those is not to make money. It's like to get people in. Yeah. So like people come for that, but they buy so much other stuff. So he's like, don't be an idiot. We're keeping the goddamn
just there to be like, hey, this is either come in for this, or it's like, hey, while you're here, why don't you have a hot dog? And we'll take $2 from you, which is, you don't really make profit. We don't lose money on it either, so fucking who cares?
So I've never been to a Costco, so I actually did not know about this. But now I want to go to a Costco.
Costco's are the best. Not right now. Wait a few years to go back because everything is like different now. But like I loved it going as a kid. I go all the time. I go to Jersey. We go to ShopRite in the Costco and buy a whole crap ton of stuff. You just have lunch at the Costco, walking up and down the aisles, having 9,000 free samples of random things.
Oh,
yeah.
Fantastic. So BJ's, and this is definitely a regional thing, but BJ's, which is like a Costco, and for anybody who's watching this who's not from New England, it's literally called BJ's.
Yeah, BJ's wholesale.
Yes. So I'll never forget when my family from South Dakota came out for my I won't say wedding anniversary, for when I graduated high school, before I worked at Taco Bell. So I remember coming around the corner in Framingham, and literally my cousin could not stop laughing, and I'm like, "What are you laughing at?" And he goes, "It's called BJ's," and I'm like, "Oh, I never thought of it."
But they're also coming from like the Midwest and the South, where like there was things called Piggly Wigglies, for God's sake. So
that's true.
Nothing to complain about.
Isn't that there's one of those in Jamaica?
I don't know if it was in South Dakota, so don't like yell at me about that. But I know like that western part of the country, right?
I think it's southern,
Midwest, the South, or wherever.
I think it is southern.
I think it's more southern, yeah. But like, there's other weird stores.
But then like you go further west, you get like Buc-ee's. I think that's like a Texas thing. Everyone has their weird thing.
If you really want to put your thinking cap on, we can also make fun of In-N-Out Burger too. I mean, Jesus, right?
Oh, dear.
Sexual innuendo.
Animals.
That's why you come to this podcast right here. Poorly formed sexual innuendos right there.
I didn't get the chance to eat it at In-N-Out when I was in California. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty pissed off about that.
See, but Wendy's actually had better value back in the day, Jimmy, speaking of that, because they also had, like, I've wanted to talk about when we brought this topic, is the buffet at Wendy's.
Oh,
which has been gone for like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's wild.
You had a salad bar, right? Which had salad on it as well, but also like macaroni salad and like beans and like all kinds of different like
pudding.
Pudding, yeah. Pudding. There was tubs of pudding.
The best pudding ever.
They had butterscotch and chocolate pudding, big tubs of it. And once you got your pass or whatever, you paid for the buffet, you could just go back to the buffet wherever you wanted. And you could get salad. They had croutons and bacon crumbles and normal stuff you'd have with a salad. But then they had these giant tubs of like French dressing and Russian dressing that you just dump all over your salad, which was probably ended up being worse than your burgers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To be totally honest.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, they got rid of that, God, what, in the 90s probably?
I want to say it was the late 90s.
Yeah. I mean, obviously not coming back now with COVID. There's no buffets going to be anymore.
Well, yeah. But, like, also fast food, like, the move to fast food is to like, get people out of the inside of the place and just in all through the drive-thru. So, like, more and more people take that out. Even when you do go inside now, they're getting, like, touch screens and stuff, so you don't have to, like, interact with anybody. You just order.
Well, it saves money, too. Like, if you don't have to pay staff to stand up front, you just have the cooks going. That's it.
And if you're antisocial like me.
Have you seen them in New York? Where you never actually see anybody?
Oh, like the sushi things where it just comes around on a conveyor belt?
No, not even that. You walk in, and it's basically like a really large ATM vestibule. Okay. And it's all touch screens. And you order your food, and you get your number, and they go and they put the bag out with a number stapled to it on a counter and then shut a little door. So it just sits there. You walk over and grab your number and walk away. That's it. You never talk to anyone. You never see anyone. You see someone's hand put a bag out. That's it.
I don't know if I like that.
Shut the door.
Of course you wouldn't like it.
Yeah, right. I need to New York.
I need to talk to people. I need to see people again.
This must have been terrible for you in COVID-19 here, Jimmy.
Dude, this has been fucking killing me. Let me put it to you this way. I just met a new member of my new team at work. And we only set aside a half hour to talk, and it was literally just a casual, hey, I am me, you are you, let's talk for a little bit. Literally within like 30 seconds, the two of us, our balls of energy were just like like it was amazing. And we got to we found out so much about each other in like that 30-minute, and then literally we got to the last 3 minutes and she was like, is there anything like serious you need to ask me about my job? And I'm like, no. Do you have anything for me? She goes, I just need to like know what you do. And I'm like, well, so, and then I was like, okay, we got a minute and a half. Here you go. And then she was like, you have 20 seconds left. Okay, that was perfect. I'm like, yes, I haven't talked to anybody in forever. Yeah, this is.
Meanwhile, similar situation. I had a similar opportunity, but I pulled my entire team in. Like instead of doing individual ones with this person, like I was like, no, you're gonna meet the whole team at the same time as me. So like my talking time is now cut in thirds because we've got 3 people on the team.
There you go.
And like we still had extra time at the end. Still got 5 minutes back. Not that I don't talk, obviously, but like I have to be efficient with my energy.
I went out today and then we did a couple errands. We went clothes shopping and whatever. And I gotta say, it's weird being outside. Like I'm still like not good with it anymore. So when things do back to normal and everyone goes back to their offices, even part time or whatever, and we're actually like out and about doing stuff, I don't know how long it's gonna take people to get like even like remotely back to normal. Like I still am like I do not like being out in a store anymore, and I'm a big extrovert too. As Jimmy knows, and Fan. Like I like people. I like talking to people. Right? Maybe not as much as Jimmy, but I do. Yep. Right? And I don't know. I'm out for more than a couple of hours. Like in public, I'm just like I am really antsy. I'm really agitated. I need to go the fuck home. I'm done.
I'm the complete opposite. Honestly, I as much as as much as this whole situation sucks for me, and the weird part is that like my kid was born like a month and a half, 2 months before everything shit the bed. Sure. And so the thing is that like at first when everything started to get super serious, it was like, holy fuck, what are we gonna do? And then we actually worked it out. But with my wife working working normal because she's on the front line at urgent care, it kind of like the only change is me working from home, which at first mentally was like, okay, it's kind of weird. But I was also sitting here and I was being very distracted by like my television and everything, and also Animal Crossing came out, so that doesn't help because
Oh,
we
yeah.
all distracted by that. I mean, the Bell the Bell market,
Stock market.
the stock market. Sorry, the stock market, like like that. Anyways,
Those were golden months right at the beginning.
yeah, exactly. And I made so much fucking money on that thing, the stock market. But but the thing was that like then it became like in my mind all of a sudden it became the super serious like really hard like 7 or 8 months. But now I'm like, okay, I'm doing some activities that I was doing beforehand. Like I'm not going overboard, obviously, but like like to find out so my wife is actually pregnant with our second kid, so we went out for dinner with a couple of friends to find out the gender of the baby, which by the way is female. So gonna have one of each, and I'm very excited.
Nice.
And so especially since it's gonna be a girl that's gonna be half me. Oh boy, I feel so bad for her. I feel bad for her, but I can't wait. Like. Well, no, so you can go on a bigger tangent really quickly. Like in the last like 3 weeks, my son has become like he's about 14 and a half months old now. His personality is really starting to show, and I fucking love it. I feel so bad for my wife. Like him and I literally just sat there earlier during dinner. So normally when my wife like feeds him a meal, it's like 15 minutes. For me, it takes like 30 to 40 minutes because him and I will just sit there and be like, ah, and he'd be like, ah, and I'll be like, ah, and just we're having screaming matches and we're dancing to music and everything else. So, but anyways, so where was I? So going back to this, yeah. So for me, it's become like, for instance, like we went to dinner for the first time in obviously almost a year with our friends, and it was obviously still weird, and we weren't just like taking off our masks and like like getting close and sipping drinks from each other's cups or something like that. But
would you do that normally? I mean,
actually,
if you're getting like a fancy drink. Like
well,
me and my friends used to always be like, "Ooh, have a sip of my fancy alcohol drink."
I'm just picturing both like, and then just
no.
It's like, oh, God, this smells so good. Let's all drink it.
If we went like for instance, like a couple years ago, like we went on like a beer, brewery, like tour. Yeah, no, not tour. I'm sorry. Crawl. We went on a crawl with like 5 different breweries and stuff, and we would only get like the sample things, and we would like
Sure, yeah.
So anyways,
that's not gonna be the case anymore.
No, yeah, no. There's so much shit that we're not going back to. But anyways, the one thing we're not getting back to is the food conversation though. And really quick, you mentioned the quesalupa.
Yeah.
Which Taco Bell also at the same time that they were bringing back the potato soft shell tacos that I was having a complete boner over, they brought that back as well. So I literally like that night went and ordered both of them, and I was just like, oh my God. Because like the quesalupa was another item that I was pissed off that they fucking dropped, and they still have a couple of items there. What is it? The double decker is my wife's favorite item from there that they still have dropped like a year and a half, 2 years ago, that they still haven't brought back. Which was still like,
do you think they do it based on sales? Like the Nacho Fries, it seems like it's a gimmick.
I think they do it to piss me off and my wife off. Like that's
specifically
really, that's the only reason why they do it.
Sure.
But so they do claim that obviously if it's a limited time item, like the Nacho Fries at Taco Bell, for instance, like that thing, they claim that they do the research on that one, but that one I think they're literally just fucking with us because
I think they are. Well, because I mean, supply and demand gets really high.
Exactly.
Shut the supply off. Everyone's like,
but
Nacho Fries.
But the claim is that when they went through the overhaul of their menu like a year and a half ago, like I keep on mentioning, they did come out and said that we're changing these items because of the research we've done. And that's a lot of the times what they claim, because with the Wendy's thing with the $1 menu, they supposedly, I think that one's bullshit, but they claimed that it wasn't, it wasn't being well received. The timing of it, their fucking CEO died 3 weeks later. They pulled the plug on the cheapest items. Fuck you. But yeah, when they do drop items, they do.
Well, they also they do it by research, but they also make exceptions for certain chains, because like you'll see like a press release for some crazy food item, you're like, holy shit, I gotta read that, and then you'll like see at the bottom it's like it's only happening in these certain places, or like if you, or like I want to get that, let me look it up at my local place, and it doesn't have it more. That happens to me a lot because I'm not in a very populous area, so they really only stick to like bread and butter. They don't take a lot of risks these like new items. But like there's sometimes where like a weird item that has been gone from every other Taco Bell since the early 2000s, like there's one place in Idaho that still has it because it's like for whatever reason that local area goes nuts for it. So like it's financially good for them to keep it. So like they'll still make exceptions. And where I'm getting at is, Jimmy, you need to eat so many of these items that they financially can't take it away from you at whatever your local Taco Bell is.
Right there in Rhode Island, just that one area is just like
an
really
outlier.
out.
Actually, I live not far away from Twin River Casino, and Twin River Casino is the only KFC I know of. Now I don't know if they probably have stopped it since then, but they're the only KFC I know of that has a KFC buffet. And for like $15, it's all you can eat chicken.
I'm sure that's not happening now, but yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I never got the chance to do it, but I always sat there because it's a Taco Bell / KFC that's in the food court, and so I always end up going after the Taco Bell items because So after talking to you guys, I apparently have a Taco Bell problem. I think
apparently so.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that you worked at Taco Bell though, so that explains it more to me. Like, you have an insider's look. Oh, that was a joke.
Yeah, that was
okay.
A joke.
No excuse.
Yeah, I was saying that explains everything because you got to get to it as young. You were indoctrinated at that point.
And then there was like a real rivalry going on because like you worked at McDonald's and he worked at Taco Bell, like the Romeo and Juliet situation.
Apparently when Schofield was there, he wasn't drinking the Baja Blast like the rest of the employees were, because like they're really indoctrinated. So
I don't know. I drank Baja Blast too. I love Mountain Dew, but I had the Baja Blast and I'm like, it was fine. I prefer normal Mountain Dew.
Oh, we've lost him.
Take
the TV.
I wish I could scream louder, but I really can't because my son is.
Don't look up Colin.
Yeah, I know.
He'll be like, "Oh, is it dinner time screaming time?"
Yeah,
me too.
I get the whole limited menu thing though, not to make it all bougie here, but like I do like Starbucks coffee.
No, I'm with you. Starbucks is one. Yeah, that's a split.
But their menu changes a lot. I know they are based on how it sells and stuff. That's usually what they do, and they have the seasonal stuff, which I get. Yeah. And they have like a new drink out right now that I really like, and I'm like, I hope to God you guys don't get rid of this in like a couple of months because it's really good. It tastes great. It's good for my diet. Like, please don't get rid of this goddamn drink.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like for me, I never take the risk on the new items because like for fast food for me, it's like I'm just want to get that comfort thing, that thing that I always know. I just pick the number one on whatever your menu is and assume that's never gonna change. Like if you tell me like the Big Mac is no longer at McDonald's. McDonald's. That's what we call it here in Vermont, McDonald's.
Oh, sure.
But I would be like,
send me a few dollars on McDonald's. So good.
No, but you know what? Speaking of the Big Mac though, one thing that does piss me off is that I know for a fact that thing is shrunk. Like I know that like when you get I know this is follow me for a second, but I know that when you grow up, obviously your hands physically get bigger with you. But fuck you, Ben.
You did know that. Oh, good.
I know for a fact.
I didn't think that's where you're going. That was getting really sad.
But I know for a fact
that's small now that I'm an adult. I don't understand why.
But I know for a fact that burger has fucking shrunk. It's not as big as it. Like I swear to God that the thing used to be as big as like circular as big as like a Whopper, for instance.
You remember they had? Is it still going on that for a little while they had the different sizes of Big Macs?
No, not right now. But they did have that for. I think so. Actually, what happened was that COVID hit, and then they actually went and reduced their fucking menu by a ton. Like we're talking like literally they seized all like any special items that they had, all the wraps that they had, the premium. That was another thing I was going to mention. The premium chicken sandwiches. Okay, those things were so fucking good. I don't know what it was about it, but those sandwiches were so fucking good. And then they got rid of all that stuff, all the wraps, all the chicken sandwiches, and everything else. And then all of a sudden, I love how the chicken sandwich war fucking happened, and people start dying.
I mean, production on everything shut down. Like they couldn't do a bunch of stuff. Like Mountain Dew Zero really became a thing right before COVID, and I love Mountain Dew Zero. It tastes delicious and 0 calorie. I'm like, oh, this is great for the diet because I'm trying to lose weight and everything. And it was the point where I was like hunting down stores, like who the fuck has this drink? Because it's like such limited production right now.
So you're saying that you were worried about toilet paper and you were worried about Mountain Dew Zero?
Well, there was a side thing. There was an aluminum shortage too. So in addition to just like production being stopped, there was also like canned things were being stopped. I remember seeing way back at the beginning of the pandemic, like someone was going out and buying like all the cherry vanilla Coke, some weird flavor that they're like only their mother-in-law loved, but like for their mother-in-law, they were buying out every single store just to make sure she had enough to get through quarantine.
That's the thing. I found at Walmart, I was just like in my carriage and just running. I'm like, yeah, bring all of it. I want all of it. My mother-in-law found it at Costco and sent me a huge box of Mountain Dew Zero. It was like hilarious. She's like, "Happy birthday!" I'm like, "Oh my god, thank you so much."
By the way, a quick tip on the toilet paper. If you go on Amazon and you buy from the Amazon business section, you can still buy it and have it delivered to home. There's an 80 pack of fucking toilet paper, but it's only like 50.
How much space does that take up in your home?
It actually doesn't. It actually does not take up that much space.
They have a toilet paper room there, Fed.
Oh, okay.
No,
I forgot. Did it get bigger when you were a kid and now it's smaller too?
I have to use more toilet paper. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, let's move on to our second topic.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good toilet paper, though. It's really good. It's really high quality toilet paper. $45.
Hey, I'm sure Jeff Bezos loves this.
Yeah, like, why are you clicking Amazon toilet paper so hard?
Because nobody could get toilet paper, and I was able to buy.
That
was months ago.
A literal year ago.
Yeah.
And I'm still buying it.
Toilet paper now.
Last year, I've only had to buy 2 cases of toilet paper, and
that's more about the amount of dukes that you're doing in your home than I needed to do.
Like I can here all day, every day. Although, I mean, some people in this house poop in my bathroom more than I do. So, but anyways,
I'm not gonna dig into that. I don't know what you meant, but I'm not gonna dig into that.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we're gonna move on.
So actually, a quick to get back on the subject. Other than fast food items, what other like store items like from your childhood or something that have disappeared? Like for instance, like 3D Doritos are back, and I've already had a bag.
3D?
Like 3D Doritos.
Yeah, the 3D.
Yeah, they're puffed up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. If you think about it, even when I was young, I realized this really quickly. It's the same price for this. So physically, the same size of bag of regular Doritos and the 3D Doritos. You're losing a ton of space because of the puffiness, and it's really a ripoff. But I don't give a shit. Those, for whatever reason, are so good. But I got really, I was super sad when they got dropped out, when they dropped out of the face of the earth like 20 years ago, and now all of a sudden they're back, and I love them. I love them so much. And then Dunkaroos,
they're you can still find those.
Well, so that's what I'm gonna say. So some of these are back now, like Dunkaroos, 3D Doritos, and the other one is Oreo O's, the cereal.
Not back.
That Amazon.
Zarex.
What is Zarex?
No one knows what Zarex is. Zarex was a syrup you could buy in a glass bottle with a zebra on it, and you could pour it in your drinks and make your own soda.
This sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Never heard those.
I will show you. We'll get a picture of Zarex. I will show you. There you go.
You know what? I can't think of stuff in the store, but Zarex. Okay, Zarex. I think I had a fake memory. I remember a similar concept, but it wasn't that.
Fake memory.
I remember that.
It was a false memory that's been planted.
I had.
When I was younger, there used to be machines, like where you get the gumball type machines, but they had little tiny things of sour liquid. And I know you can get sour different things these days, but it looked like it was like an eyedropper, same shape, horrible. That maybe this is why they don't have it, because if you were like, that was on your nightstand, you would have thought it was an eyedropper and fucking blinded yourself. God. But like, I loved those. And you could literally only buy them for 25 cents out of like a gumball machine.
Oh my God.
It does sound vaguely familiar. Yeah. Don't they have the ones now that you can like add it like onto like little like stick now?
Yeah, they got like the juicy drop pops or whatever.
How about Fun Dip? You guys remember Fun Dip?
They still have Fun Dip. Fun Dip never went away.
All right.
Yeah.
I know this because I'm a Valentine's Day connoisseur, and it's one of those.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you did a Fun Dip deal last year.
Yeah. That was fun.
That one's a classic.
I think that was the last thing we did as a group.
Yeah, possibly.
It was. Yeah. And then we didn't celebrate it this year, and it really hurt my soul.
So, yeah.
I love forcing people to do crafts.
It was fun.
I literally put a tortilla on my.
I wasn't going to do it.
Oh my God, the tie-in.
Oh God, yeah.
The Taco Bell tie-in.
Taco Bell tie-in. There you go.
Telling you guys, it wasn't a Taco Bell soft shell, but I could pretend.
It was just a literal tortilla that for whatever reason he had, and there's all this paper and glitter and hot glue, and I don't know why, but you were the last person in the room. I think you came in late, and it was just me like kind of picking stuff up, and I look over at you, and you have the hot glue gun, and you're gluing a tortilla to a paper bag.
It was
and it immediately it got really hard and fell off, and then there was just like we all had our cute little Valentine's bags, and then just a tortilla on the table. But you can tell that it was from yours.
Yeah, Jimmy, you have a Taco Bell problem.
Yeah.
Apparently I do, and it's worse than the person who started the Taco Bell obsession at the office.
That's true. Yeah.
So
she's not nearly obsessed as you are.
No, apparently not. I didn't. Thank you for coming to my intervention.
Yeah, right.
Taco talk.
Taco talk. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
So I this whole time I've been a little bit quiet, just kind of sitting in on learning from you guys what you have, because I grew up not having a ton of options for fast food, and like I said, like locally they never really got these fancy items. We did have a few things. We always had a McDonald's and a Burger King. There was a Wendy's somewhere. I've never had it, but it was there. And we did have a Taco Bell outside the city, but like that was kind of it. Like there was so many like somewhat common things that when I moved down to Massachusetts for work, I was like, oh my God, we're gonna get Five Guys. Oh, whoa. like it was really exciting to me to have all these things, just because I didn't have them growing up. But
guys, oh great. Oh.
I like them good.
Yeah. It's so like the reason that we don't have them here, I mean, we now have a Five Guys, so really leaps and bounds. But like initially, the reason is partially like one, we were a small town, so like you couldn't have too many competing things, and McDonald's and Burger King got like the monopoly. We had 2 McDonald's. But then the other thing is that Vermont is weird.
Monopoly, not Burger King.
Yes. Sure. Well, I mean, Burger King's at least kicking it. Like they're
right. No, but McDonald's has the monopoly game.
You know what's funny? I'm the opposite.
Oh, yeah, they did. I didn't get it. Yeah, but they're.
That was dumb. Really... Don't laugh at that. It was a terrible joke. Shut up, Jimmy.
I love how you reference something that hasn't even been around for almost 20 years.
Well, they just did it like two years.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
They do it like every couple of years.
Well, by the way, you guys have to see the documentary.
Yes, I did see that. That was excellent.
So good.
Yeah, it's very good.
On Monopoly?
Millions on
there was people that were scamming the game.
Yeah.
It's a big...
It's a fantastic documentary. Go watch it. It's
a documentary series. Okay. Highly suggested.
The cops on are hilarious. They're so weird.
Oh,
they're weird. The FBI guys.
The very last like 10 seconds of the entire thing is like mind-blowing amazing.
It's very good. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's good. It's a good watch.
All right, I'm intrigued. I'll check that out.
Yeah, we do have a ton of stuff. I mean, Massachusetts, I'm sure, isn't more so than other states, right? Like we're not like the most fast food in any state, but we have.
But it's just like there's a lot of people, so like you get it every so often, and even the ones that are more rare, like you're gonna have a McDonald's every 10 feet, but like you're every 30 feet, you're gonna get like another rare one. So like
it's not really a fast food, I guess, but it's kind of in that genre, I guess, right? The one place I've never been that I keep hearing ads for all the time, that Stacy's been to, my wife has been to, because there's a lot more of them in New Jersey where she grew up, is Red Lobster.
I was gonna say
we had one of those, and then it closed down.
Oh,
I don't know where there is one around the eastern part of the state, right? I know there's some like farther out or down like in the tri-state area. There's not a lot up here, probably because Massachusetts is like Red Lobster will kill you.
But also it has
lobster shops.
Yeah. You've got much better options, and Red Lobsters are very like they're not great, and part of it is also that they're kind of like skeezy, like dirty, like not great. This sounds like I'm slandering Red Lobster, but like a lot of them will close down just from like, quality stuff. It's a similar kind of thing with Friendlies. Like they're like not incredible food, but like they could have stuck around if they just kind of like kept up. But something about those two chains is the kind of thing they just neglected, and then over time it's like it's not worth renovating it. I'm just gonna close it down, which is what happened with ours.
It's a Jack in the Box of seafood.
When we get the cease and desist from Red Lobster to not air this episode ever, I want to blame.
I mean, they have some things that are great. I hear a lot of good things about the Cheddar Bay biscuits. Yeah,
it's like the opinions expressed here are not necessarily affiliated with my podcast.
I've only been to Red Lobster once, but
I mean, I assume that there's some Red Lobsters that are like just pristine. Like there's always like some that is like, this is the flagship Red Lobster or whatever, and it's so clean and beautiful. And then like the people that are there like just spout the praises of Red Lobster, and then everyone else is like, "This is what you're talking about," because theirs are weird.
There's always quality disparities. When I worked downtown Boston, there's I was in the financial district. I was working in finance, and you could throw a dead cat and hit a Starbucks. Like any direction, you hit a different Starbucks. There was like 5 of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Why are you throwing dead cats?
Because it's a financial.
What else
district.
are you gonna do?
Yeah, come on. So the thing is, you figure out very quickly. Yeah, you're the asshole. You figure out very quickly which was the good Starbucks and which was the not so good Starbucks. Oh, so there's one that I always went to because I always got like a weird drink from them, and they always mixed it the right way, and it would actually had everything I wanted in it. So I remember writing a letter because they have a little comment card like, "Hey, if we think you're doing a good job or a bad job, email our general manager and let us know." So I'm like, "Hey, you guys are the ones I always go to. I'll do that." So I wrote a letter saying, "Hey, I always order this weird drink. Here's the weird drink. I have peppermint latte. Right? I don't have a latte with a peppermint syrup in it." And they always do it well. Sometimes I say that people are like, "Oh, he must be peppermint mocha, put chocolate in it." And I'm like, "Fuck, this isn't what I wanted." But they never did that. So I wrote this nice letter. And then I got free drinks to them like all the goddamn time because they were so happy about it because they knew it was me because no one else drinks my crazy drink. But I get that. Absolutely. You're right. There probably is some Red Lobsters that are really good, some that are bad. Like I've even had them at McDonald's. Like the food's always pretty much the same because they don't have any choice on that. But sometimes you get stuff and you're like, they had add too much ketchup or like they just take a whole scoop of onions and it's just all onion, right? Yeah. There's always a quality disparity between restaurants. I totally get that.
I mean, you also see like there's ones that are older than others that like once they get rid of it, you're like, all right, this one's now going to become good. But like you hear those horror stories about like the ice cream machines or whatever that just never get cleaned out and they're never working and stuff like that.
The ice cream machines are always broken at fucking McDonald's. I fucking hate that. It pisses me off.
Well, like for good reason. If they only clean it like once every month, like I would prefer it to be broken a little. But like not all of them like that. Some of them get the love and then, they're better. And some of the ones that were bad, like we had a KFC in our town that apparently got really bad and they got renovated and then everyone loved it. So like once the corporation starts putting money into it, then like the output starts to be better.
Well, I know that the Dunks near my house, one night I was trying to get some coffee from there and they didn't put the sign up very well. It was like down below the screen and you couldn't see it, but it was like, "Oh, we're closing for 6 p.m. because of cleaning or maintenance or whatever." And so I go by the fucking drive-through window. I look in and there's this tiny little petite woman who's up on the counter, literally like her ass is hanging out, first of all, which was hilarious to me. And so she's in like the machine, like fucking just, I don't know. She's going to town on that machine. So and the thing is,
that's good though, right? I mean, that's what you want.
Everyone, kind
of going to town on a coffee machine.
Exactly. But the thing is that for me, like not only even before I saw that, because that was recent, I was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But even before that, after I moved in, I realized that this one is actually really good. But like the ones that like were near my last place sucked because they always had their shit burnt and everything else. So
yeah, I mean, if these people are diligent about cleaning, right? Or if, I don't know if this one was an employee or a person that hired, regardless, that's what you want. Yeah, because like you go to places you're like, this isn't good. This coffee is old.
I had one yesterday morning. I was going down to Foxwoods for their big bingo event, and literally the Dunks down the street from there, I got a small coffee, took 2 sips of it, and threw it out because it was the most burnt coffee I've ever tried in my life, and it was so fucking nasty.
My friend used to go when we go to Dunkin' Donuts when we were in high school. He would get a Dunkin' like the Dunkachinos, not the Frappuccino, but like the Kool-Aid, right? But he'd go, "I want half of it coffee, half of it vanilla."
Well, it actually sounds really good.
It's really good. But the thing is, I knew there was a good Dunks and a bad Dunks because he would order that, and the good ones would go, "Okay," and say nothing. They'd be like, "Sure, we'll charge you for the full coffee." He's like, "Okay, that's it." The bad Dunks would be like, "Huh? What?"
I don't have a button for that.
Again, like, we can't do that. And he's like, "Why not?" He's like, "We can't do that." He said, "Just put half coffee, half vanilla." And he's like, "Okay." And they would fight him on it. So if they ever fought him on it, I'd be like, "Yeah, I know the coffee's going to be bad here." But they're just like, "Sure." And they just did it. The coffee's usually good. That's always what happens to me. So that's what happens at Starbucks too. Like I used to go to the one over in Cambridge, and because Stacey was bartending down there. So I'd go and like hang out for a bit and then go pick her up from the bar and bring her home. And I wanted tea, but I didn't want them to boil water. I wanted them to boil lemonade and then steep the tea in it.
You were that guy.
I was that guy, right? I didn't invent it. The manager of the Starbucks did it because I came in. I wanted a hot apple cider. She goes, "We don't have any." I said, "Well, I want a hot beverage. I don't want coffee." She's like, "Try this. This is something I do." So I did it. I'm like, "That is amazing." Right. And then I tried it, but I go to other Starbucks and they're like, "We're not doing that." Like they were refusing to do it. And I knew the places that would do it were good, and the ones who didn't do it, I'm like, "Well, screw you guys." Then I just want my hot lemonade.
You're out of my life forever. You do not boil my lemonade.
Hot lemonade with a mint tea in it is super good. I'll tell you that much.
I'll try that.
Yeah, we used to make like lavender lemonade at a store that I worked at. So like any like weird herbally thing you can put in lemonade is like strangely good.
I always like trying crazy things though.
So the other thing about Starbucks for me is that I like to order my my iced coffees without ice in them. What the fuck?
I saw Fen. She knew exactly what I was trying to do. She rolled over it, and I looked at her, and she looked at me, and she was just like, "He just steamrolled over you." I said, "Yeah, he did," and we're laughing about it now. I saw it in your eyes, Fen. I saw it in your eyes.
I don't know why that made me cry. I've never felt so seen.
Right? I just saw like this whole conversation. I was just staring at you on camera, going, "Ah, crap! He's just gonna ignore me."
No, I didn't mean. I'm sorry.
No. I'm not offended by it. I just find it hilarious that I looked at Ben and she was like, "Yeah, he's not gonna pick up on that." I'm like, "Crap!"
I couldn't keep it off my face. I thought I was doing good.
Sorry.
No, it's fine, Jimmy. I just thought it was
funny.
I just was like, "Oh, this is a perfect way to segue to the next topic." And then you're like, "So anyway, fast food." I was like, "Damn it!" No, you didn't pick up on that at all, did you?
No, I was so focused. I was so focused because you mentioned Starbucks again. I was so focused about agreeing with you about.
I have Starbucks too.
I just saw a Fender like. I just saw his little like flicker her going, "Nope, he's not gonna get it."
No.
Perfect.
I mean, this is like pulling the curtain back a little bit, but like I also had a similar moment earlier with like weird Vermont stuff.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And then I steamrolled over that as well.
We're trying to drag you over to the other topic, Jimmy. I said it flat out like 20 minutes ago. You were like, "No," because you wanted to talk about you shitting for some reason. So that's fine. Don't look at me crazy. That's exactly what happened. You were talking about toilet paper for fucking 5 minutes.
But I mean, we were talking about Taco Bell. So
we were talking. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point.
I'm not good at this, apparently.
Oh, no, you're like two in the flow of the conversation. It's true listening to how we talk.
What's hilarious is that the first two episodes, I was like spot on about it, but this episode, I'm like, wee.
Totally fine.
So, Jimmy, do you eat any weird food? Stop it.
So good.
I drink my Starbucks iced coffee without ice.
That's not that weird, Jimmy.
It's only weird if this day and age is not weird because everybody has iced coffee now. Back in the day, they used to make iced coffee by putting hot coffee over ice. So if you ask for that, they'd be like, "I just can't do it."
Yeah, you have a cold
nowadays.
Yeah.
Is it now? Do you not ask for ice because your teeth are sensitive, or is it because you don't want it to get watery?
Well, I don't want it to get watery.
Okay, so I got to put you on to ice cubes made of coffee, which some places will do. There's a place called Holy Donuts up in Portland, Maine. Actually, they've got a few different places, but like they'll do that, and it's so good.
Potato donut too up in Portland.
Yes, they're incredible.
Potato flour donuts, so good.
That's it's funny because like that's
I love Portland so much.
I had a terrible boss at a couple of jobs ago, and it's literally the one thing I've ever taken away from it was you get more drink if you ask for no ice. But what I was going to say really quickly is that for whatever reason at Starbucks if you do that, they'll give you the whole thing, but then there's other ones that'll be like, "Okay, we're not going to give you the whole thing."
Yeah, because they know what you're doing. Yeah, Starbucks, they don't care. They'll give you just fill up, you're done. Because the thing is, you ever watch Starbucks, they'll fill your glass, put the ice in, and then try to fill it some more, and they have stuff left over they just throw out.
Yeah. Which is,
so if you don't have the ice, they just fill it till it's full, and they're like, "There you go." They don't care.
So as far as weird things I like to eat, I'm one of those, like, I will eat anything. I will try it at least. Obviously, if I don't like it, I'm not going to eat it more, but I fucking hate this. That's
my mother's done that before. I make fun of her all the time. She was
really?
Yeah, I was sitting at the kitchen table doing my homework, and I had like a bowl of Fruity Pebbles. It was like late at night. I was in school with him, and she took a handful. She's like, "Oh, these are terrible." why would you eat these?
No,
these are really terrible. I'm like, Mom, stop eating them then if you don't like them. God. I to this day made fun of her about it, like 20 years later. I'm still like, why are you eating my Fruity Pebbles? If you don't like them, stop.
I'm guilty of that, like just by myself if I'm alone and it's there. I'm like, oh, I've decided I don't like this, and then I'll forget, and then 2 minutes later I'll grab it again and be like, oh, why did I do that? I don't like this. But I try and keep it inside.
I was half waiting for you to be like, Mom, does it take you the 7th bite to figure out?
What?
So I will admit, there are times where I'm going to sit there and I will try something, and at first I'm like, I don't know if I like this or not, but I'll keep on trying it, and then maybe it'll hit me, like an aftertaste will get me. But to sit there and immediately be like, I fucking hate it, and just keep on going is just.
Oh yeah, all she did it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing.
So I'm open to trying stuff, but I really don't have any. I mean, I guess some people would consider like sushi, for instance, like
raw fish.
Yeah, it's like raw fish, a gross thing to eat. But other than that, not really. I don't really have. I mean, I'll try any of the weird flavored candies or sodas or chips or whatever the hell it is.
I mean, those are pretty safe. Like that's a safe way to experiment with flavors.
Like, if you were to be like, I have cow's tongue that I've marinated in whatever, and then I'll try it. I don't know if I'm gonna like it.
There was a girl when I went to school. It was like 6th grade, and for our snack time, she had like a lamb's tongue, and she just every day had that thing. So I like really like a normal thing that people ate, and then I like grew up and like, why isn't everyone eating their lamb's tongue?
It's not really common in American cuisine.
Yeah.
So, you guys do like raw oysters, that sort of thing too?
Yeah, I like those.
I love raw.
I've actually never had raw. It was funny. I was just thinking about this the other day. I actually have not had a raw oyster, but I would definitely try it. I gotta do the whole.
They're like.
I gotta do the whole was it it's Tabasco sauce and like salt, and there's like 2 other items, right?
Lemon.
Yeah, well, it's horseradish cocktail sauce. Tabasco. That's what lemon. Yeah. I just do them straight. Little horseradish is fine sometimes, but I just do them.
Do with a little lemon, but they're. I mean, if it was a big thing that I was taking a bite of, like the flavor, I don't feel like I'd be super into that. But the fact that it's just like a little shooter and it's always really cold and refreshing, like. Yeah. It's good.
I never get more than like 6 at a time. If you have more than like 6 or like a dozen, I'm like, this is getting a bit much. But like, you have I have like 4 or 6 of them as a little appetizer. It's fantastic.
Yeah, the couple of times I've been like, I want to try it. Like I've been at a restaurant where it's kind of like, so here's my thing. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable about the whole like, we're going to put a bucket of ice on the top of this tray or whatever, and then we're going to put a ton of oysters out there for like 3 hours. Like I don't really care for that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but if I know it's like
Jimmy, you and I will go. We'll get some raw oysters.
Exactly. Yeah. Like actually,
fucking Boston.
When I was on my honeymoon, we went to Wait, what? I'm sorry.
Boston's got great places you can get some raw oysters.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So there was a thing, I don't know what program it was, but it was on like either Food Network or whatever, one of those channels. And I had flipped over to it, and it was showing these 2 different restaurants there in like near was it Pike Place in Seattle, which I've been to Pike Place, and actually I got to go watch the famous guys that throw all the fish and everything in that the pier shop. And I didn't have the balls to try to catch a fish, but next time I'm going to try to do it.
You just get covered in fish.
Yeah. Well, that's I'm not gonna lie. That's why I was like, it's the beginning of the day, blah blah blah. Maybe I'll,
they got gloves and aprons and stuff. They don't care.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't give a shit. They go home. They go home and they get to shower. Like if I get stinky, I'm fucked for the day.
Jimmy doesn't get to go home and shower. He can't shower at home. So
that's right. I can't.
He melts in water.
Yeah.
Water. I'm melting. But anyway, so this place though, one of the places had like this 2-tiered seafood dish, and it was a raw thing, and the only thing that was cooked on it was like these special like lobsters or whatever, but everything else was like like the fresh oysters, the fresh clams and everything else. Like, it looks so good. So yeah, so I'm like, I really, after seeing those clips, and the other thing is that like the oysters, the reason I'm bringing this up is because literally the oysters were caught like that fucking morning for like the dinner.
You need oysters that are like
exactly
like we caught them yesterday, perfect. Like today,
exactly.
Perfect. It was like a few days ago, like no.
Exactly. So, plus I need somebody like you that's gonna like they know what they're doing to show me.
Like a weird
funny. Years ago, Stacy got me a oyster class as a gift.
Ooh.
So I went, and there was like, you go in there, talk all about oysters and the different types of oysters, and you try them all out. And I'll tell you, the ones around here really were the best.
No.
The Pacific ones are fine, but they're like very like mild in flavor. They're like very like buttery, like they're like very they dissolve real easily. They like go down real easy. These ones are like super briny out here because it's cold water out in the Atlantic. So I like the ones from around here. Like the Cape has like the best oysters because they're like super intense flavor.
All right, so I want to try one of each now.
Okay. Yeah, we can give it a shot. They're cool.
I'm not gonna lie, I would actually try that class. Actually, my wife got me
a fun time
class one time. That was fun. Because the best part was that they were like, so we rolled all this sushi and stuff, but my wife doesn't eat sushi, so she gave me all of hers. I was stuffed at the end of the night. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's the tough thing. Stace is like super picky with food. She doesn't eat like a whole bunch of stuff, so it's difficult when we go to restaurants. We got to find a place that's gonna have stuff that she's gonna eat. But she's like, nope, she won't like eat certain things at all.
Oh wow.
I'm like fairly weird about certain textures, but it's not to the point like I can eat anywhere and I'll be fine. But there's certain things that like that part I might not eat. Like I'm weird about textures with like coconut is a weird texture for me. I'm not super jazzed on it.
I love coconut. Yeah.
That being said, though, I'll still eat stuff. Sometimes like. No, you go ahead.
No, it's just hers are like
tonight. Sorry.
Hers are like she doesn't eat red meat. She doesn't eat beef or pork. First off, but she doesn't eat mustard. Doesn't like tomatoes. Doesn't like mushrooms. Doesn't like onions. So I'm like that. I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. I think about like crap. That's a lot of things.
I'm sorry. Onions. I'm not gonna lie. So the meats I eat, but everything except for the onions, I agree with her on. But the onions, come on.
No mushrooms, man. Mushrooms.
No. We've been through this before, Schofield. I fucking hate mushrooms. I don't know why. It's actually, I think, a textural thing with that as well for some reason. But also, like pickles, I hate because the pickle flavor takes over everything. Again, this is all conversations we already. You know what? Just throw the water.
Wow.
I got intense.
One of my favorite foods in the world is cheese. My best friend does not like cheese, and it's a sad situation. It's really not that uncommon. Only like depending on what your background is, like certain areas of the world learn to metabolize milk.
Well, I think more people in the world are lactose intolerant than actually are lactose tolerant. Isn't that right?
Yeah, or like even if it's not like so bad, like you might not even realize it, but like some of the people that are like, I don't like this thing, it might be partially because they're just like their stomachs don't.
It's just tough listening. I don't like cheese. It's like I had a friend not growing up, but like in college, I'm still kind of friends with now, and he just didn't like soup. I'm like, how don't you like soup? No. He didn't like soups at all. I'm like, soup is like so broad. There's like 9 million types of soup, right? Like,
take any dish and put it in a blender. You got soup.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like tomato soup and beef stew are both soups, but they're like so different. So how do you not like either?
I mean,
right? Like there's such a gamut between the two. So
that's when you wonder, like, have you only ever had like Campbell's or whatever, like bad stuff?
But see, that's my thing with like cheese, because you can have like Kraft singles, which are like cheese, I guess.
Not even cheese.
Then you can go like the extra sharp reserved Cabot, like really really good like cheddar cheese, or even to like some of like the really like crazy like Bries and like farmer's cheese and like other stuff, or even to like the blue cheese. This is a huge range of cheese. So just to say I don't like cheese at all, if you aren't intolerant, right? Obviously, if you're like intolerant or doesn't agree with you, that's totally fine. But based on a taste sort of thing, I think that's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
There's 9,000 different types of cheese.
And by the way, being up in Vermont, Becca, just in case, if you haven't been there, you got to go to the Cabot.
Cabot is nothing.
I'm sure Becca has done the sleepover at Cabot.
No, I mean Cabot is like the kind of cheese that gets shipped worldwide. Like it's like mass-produced cheese. Like that's not the cheese that Vermonters have. I mean you do because like it's everywhere, but like.
But it's really good cheese.
I mean it is, but there's so much better cheese in Vermont.
There is better cheese in Vermont.
Sometime you'll come up when there's not.
There. I was gonna roll out of the way if the cat wasn't there.
Oh God, yeah! Don't roll over the cat.
Well, she's a bitch.
The thing is, you have to do what I did for Stacey's 30th. We drove all the way up. What route is it, Finn, that goes through White River Junction all the way up into Burlington? Is that 9?
7.
7.
Down the center of the state.
Yeah, down the center of the state goes all the way up through White River Junction up into Burlington.
Yeah, 7.
We did that. We stopped and hit all these local cheese shops the whole way up.
Mm-hmm. That's like the perfect stretch. It's so pretty, and it gets you to the one populated place in Vermont, which is Burlington.
Burlington's fantastic.
And if you keep going, you can get to Montpelier, which is our capital, which is not super populated. But a fun fact that is relevant, it's the only capital in the United States that does not have a McDonald's.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
It also has more cows per capita than residents.
Yeah,
or something
That's
stupid like that.
Burlington, though, if you
And
ever
it's our
want
capital.
want some really good food, Portland, Maine, first of all, great food. Burlington's got some great places.
Yep.
Lake Champlain Chocolates up in Burlington is some amazingly good chocolate actually up there.
We cannot forget that there's obviously the Ben and Jerry's.
Oh,
But-
of course.
And then, of course, Cabot, but they also have Magic Hat, which is
Magic Hat.
We have a ton of really great.
Yeah, Magic Hat's not. Unfortunately, I'm going to do it to you again, Jimmy. Magic Hat's not even the big one up in Vermont anymore. The Alchemist is the big one up in Vermont now.
Oh yeah, so I was about to say. So we went to. So actually, it's funny. Burlington was the first road trip or like overnight trip or whatever that my wife and I did like about a month or two into our relationship. So it was one of those like, all right, let's see if we can tolerate each other for fucking 4 hours each way in the car, and obviously we did fine. Because
but we did terrible. Then we decided to get married.
Exactly, yeah. We did absolutely terrible. We decided to move in together, and then we moved in with her parents, and then we got
miserable sense.
Yeah, I knocked her up twice. So I fucking hate her. But no. So we did Ben and Jerry's and Cabot and
Sure
and Magic Hat, but then we went downtown, and I wish I really do wish that I could remember the name of this place. They brewed their own beers. They're not a huge four-way. They're actually kind of on the fancier side, and there's like 2 stories to this building. And so you dine on the top part, and there's a brewery, and they did they do cootery boards and stuff like that for like
cootery boards.
Yeah, I know, big word, cootery boards. I almost say cooter boards.
It's actually charcuterie.
I knew
That's why it was funny. Cootery.
Yeah.
I
cootery boards is like what do you get a shot for? Like
Ooh, you got cootery.
I just want to make sure I didn't actually say cooter board or something like a vagina.
You should commit all the way and just go.
Yeah, go for it. Go.
It's a cooter board.
Charcuterie board. That's why I've only had like one of these in my life. But anyways, this place was fantastic. Their beer was really, really good.
Okay.
These that they made, or at least that they were hawking, was fantastic. But the food itself was also amazing. So whatever, if I can try to figure out this place's name.
I mean, based on the description, I don't unfortunately know.
You said it was in Burlington?
Yeah, it was like downtown area. It's like on a huge 4-way. I have to try to figure it out someday. But I'm just saying that like if anybody else gets the chance to go up to Burlington and apparently you can also do like you said, I would absolutely love to go to that other brewery, the Alchemist. And then if you got kids, apparently you can do a tour of the or I don't know about COVID, but at least they do tours of the was it Build-A-Bear facility.
Yeah, I've done the Build-A-Bear tour.
It's not Build-A-Bear. It's the Vermont Teddy Bear Factory.
Vermont Teddy Bear.
Oh, I'm sorry. Whatever.
Build-A-Bear, you can go to any local mall and get your own
There you go.
tour.
I will say, I think you are right about the Cabot cheese. Cabot cheese is good cheese, but you can get better cheeses. I will say Ben and Jerry's, for being a mass-produced sort of ice cream, really is one of the best ice creams I've had. Like I've had other like local shop ice creams that are very good. Ben and Jerry's actually does compete pretty well with some of the really good local shops too.
It's also one of those touristy traps that I would still go to willingly.
Yeah,
like
it's still I've been there a bunch of times. I'm like, yeah, it's just fun. It's good to go.
But the creepy / really cool part though, for anybody who's never been, is you got it. So when you're going up to the main entrance, detour to the left and go to the graveyard.
The flavor graveyard, yeah.
The flavor graveyard, because they actually have actual gravestones that they put plaques on for each of the flavors that have died. They give their years, and then they give a description of what the ice cream is, and then they basically like do this whole like poem, like poetry stuff about like why it was
really
good, why it sucked or something. It's actually really well done, but I say it's creepy because it's like under like a tree, like a dying tree or something. It was kind of
very theatric.
They did, and when I went, it was very rainy and that afternoon, so it was even more like ambiance.
It was like very, very atmospheric.
Oh yeah, it was like I was waiting for like the fog to come in, and like all of a sudden, like a hand with a
it'll be like undead pints of ice cream.
Exactly, they just raised up out of nowhere. But some of them did sound super interesting. Like I think there was like a PB&J one. Like. That one sounds fantastic, but that one only like lives for like a year or two. But the other thing is that was funny is that you get the ones that are like literally like only like 6 months, and then they were like, oh, this is. But then you got the ones that are like they were there for like 17 years or something, and all of a sudden they were just like, well, it just petered out.
Well, sometimes you have to like keep in mind like how they're made. So like PB&J seems like a pretty like no brainer, but like I would imagine like the jelly part of it and the peanut butter, like there's like it's difficult to freeze that and have it still be the same sort of thing,
Oh,
like
yeah.
how they deliver on that.
Yeah.
Same with like those ones where it's like this is a crunchy thing, like having something crunchy within like a milky thing, like it's really hard to pull those off. Ice cream does it, but like I'm sure there's plenty of ones where they might have like tried it for 6 months and was like, this is just a nightmare to try and quality control. Get rid of it, you know?
Well, that's like a lot of things that you put in ice cream. Like I know, like one of the big toppings I always go to like different ice creams. Like, oh, let's put gummy bears in ice cream. That's a terrible idea.
It just
Exactly.
it's
It
hard.
becomes like rock hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's certain things just like, I don't know how well it's going to work. Peanut butter and jelly would work. But I think you're right. Like getting peanut butter to the frozen consistency you want and then jelly, those are not the same temperature.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, I
Yeah.
think jelly would if it gets frozen enough could like hurt your teeth or something.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or you'll end up with like a lot of jelly or a lot of peanut butter in a bite, but like they won't meld together perfectly.
Right. And then actually it was funny, you were talking about the crunchy stuff that maybe that goes soft in the ice cream. I remember there was a flavor years like when I was a kid, there was a flavor that had pretzels in it. But then I remember trying it and being like, this is kind of gross because of the sogginess. But then they did chocolate covered ones, and I was like, oh, it fucking
That's
works.
the trick.
It would.
The chocolate
It took like 20 years, but they
Chubby
fucking
Hubby
figured it out.
has the chocolate pretzels and the peanut butter. That actually works. Yeah, that's much better.
Oh, and I gotta say, they the core pints that they do, those are fucking ingenious. Do you know what I'm talking about, Becca?
Yeah, I
Okay.
have never had one, but I've seen them.
Oh, so
Story
good.
of my life. I know of everything. Have had
Oh my
nothing.
God. You're from the area that oh,
I mean, there's no reason that I couldn't. I'm just like, this is literally about like when I moved out of Vermont, I lost the excuse of like, oh, I've never done that. I'm from Vermont. And it just revealed that like, oh, I've never done that. It's just because I don't leave my house, or oh, I get the same thing every time.
Right.
I've never tried to do
You
one.
lived in Massachusetts for quite a while there, Finn.
Yeah. And I never. I mean, there were some new things that I found just because they didn't have the old brands, but like I stick to the same, known things unless I'm like out with someone and they try a thing. I'm like, oh, okay, now I like that. Let me add that to the rotation. But if I'm getting ice cream, I know what my favorite ice cream is. I'm just gonna get the same one every time.
True.
See, there you go. Fan is why Nacho Fries don't stick around.
Oh yeah, I've never gotten a nacho fry.
Because she's like, I'm not trying new things. Fuck you,
guys
Taco.
had the
I did one try a taco pizza. It was just a tortilla with stuff on top, like a
That's
piece of
another
cake. It was
item that
awful.
they
And
pulled
I was
up.
like,
Terrible.
that's what I
No,
get.
They
The other
did
taco
put it on the
pizza,
menu.
right? When I went to UMass Amherst for college, and there's a pizza shop called Antonio's there, and they do the craziest pizza. But one of them was a beef taco pizza, which was great. It was just a pizza, but they had ground beef and lettuce and tomatoes and like sour cream and like chilies and stuff, and it was fantastic.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
Well, their
great.
problem was that they did it on a tortilla and it was just too thin, and I think they even tried to use tomato sauce. They should have just stuck to
They
taco
did
stuff.
a spinach and cheese tortellini pizza, which was really good.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was pizza, but it was special like Italian, like really good like Italian cheeses. Then they just had baked tortellini over the top of it, filled with spinach and cheese. It was
Oh yeah.
I mean, we could probably do a whole episode on just like college food. I went to Rochester Institute of Technology, and we had a thing called, one, it was in Rochester, so there's garbage plates. Love garbage plates. Two, zonies, which was just calzones, but they would put literally fucking anything in it, and it would be like 3 a.m. and be like, let's get zonies, and they would deliver. I had so many disgusting things.
I'm in the zone, so let's get some zombies.
the weirdest thing. I think
Yeah,
you're
that
right.
was me
We
in
could
college.
do a whole thing on that. The weirdest thing that happened to us is the dining halls in UMass Amherst had some really weird ideas. So one day we went there, and they always had like a pizza. There was always a couple of pizzas. One of the pizzas literally had Trix cereal on the pizza.
Ooh.
Did you try it?
I did not.
What did it use instead of sauce? Like
No, it was a pizza. It was a
So
regular.
it had tomato.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that must have been like an April Fool's or something.
I don't know what it was, but like he tried and was like, "This is not good." I'm like, "Well, of course it's not good.
Exactly.
Why would you put Trix on a pizza?"
Yeah,
That's
It's a
terrible.
terrible idea.
So
It was also a
you
great
silly
game-
rabbit. Those are for kids.
Exactly. It was also the great game of eating. You're like, is this chicken or fish?
Ew.
I can't tell. If you can't tell, you're like, I don't know if I should eat this. If I can't tell if this is chicken or haddock.
Well, first of
not
all,
great.
if it's deep fried, that means that the oil needs to be.
It was deep fried. You eat it, you're like, I have no idea what this is. It doesn't taste bad, but I have no idea what it
That's
is.
not good. No.
Not great. No, it's not great.
I didn't go to college, but I could definitely join in with some crazy food items. But you guys got the college pizzonis.
I mean, you could also go back to school. Like pizza is always kind of just a regular cheese pizza seems pretty safe, but anything else is always just the leftovers that the lunch ladies had. So like you always should be suspicious of like anything that's not just a standard pizza.
I 100% do not agree with that old adage. Like pizza is like sex. Even when it's bad, it's pretty good. I don't agree with that. Like bad pizza, I've had pizza that's really bad. I'm like, that is really bad. I don't want to keep eating it. Yeah. So I don't really agree with that adage. Like, yeah,
it's because like this is an old friend. I know what this should taste like, and it's not it. And now I'm betrayed.
Right. You know that pizza. It's like the dough is like that weird texture where you bite into it and it's like hard to get through, and then it's really chewy for some reason. You're like, what am I eating? This is awful.
Ew, no.
It's tricks.
The tomatoes, apparently. The tomato sauce is like all sugary, and that's all it is. Just like I'm like, ugh.
Oh, that's no. By the way, speaking of pizza, really quickly, have you guys seen the was it the food that America built?
Yes, I haven't seen
all of it.
I've watched a couple episodes. Yeah,
okay, you gotta.
Story of my life.
So the few episodes I've seen so far is the Pizza Wars, which is literally about Domino's versus Pizza Hut, we watched it like 2 weeks ago, and that's what triggered the whole we need to have Pizza Hut. And then the other one we watched was the Chocolate War, where it's Hershey's, Nestle, and Reese's. So
Hershey's wins that one.
Becca,
would you say Hershey's wins that one?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
No.
They literally put some weird. I'm gonna pull up some research after this and send it to you guys. But American chocolate companies put a really weird flavor in it. That's like akin. It uses the same chemical that you'll find in like throw up, like this weird violet thing.
I'm not saying that I prefer Hershey's chocolate over other things. Just of those three he mentioned, I would prefer Hershey's.
Oh, okay. I guess I was about to say because spoiler alert, Reese's was actually invented by a guy with the last name Reese's. That actually worked for, I know, mind blowing. I know. So he actually worked at Hershey's in Pennsylvania.
And he stole the recipe?
No. So he actually was in charge of the cows, and then he got let go, and then he literally sat there in his house in literally Hershey's backyard and made the Hershey's cup, the peanut butter cup. And then his kids were hawking it on the streets, and it was going so well. They actually sold it out to all of Hershey's employees. And then Hershey found out, and then had one of his minions go and be like, "So you come to us, you work for us now, and you mass produce this product with us." And he was like, "Yes." And Hershey's, I was like, "Yeah, the Reese's is the best-selling candy out there." Like it has been since it was launched, basically.
But what chocolate does it use? Hershey's chocolate?
No, so it uses its own recipe. Hershey's literally just went, "We're gonna pay you to not fuck us.
Yeah,
where you're gonna be on our team, and you're gonna do your own."
And he was like, "Cool, I live in your backyard, so I guess I should."
Exactly.
I guess I should. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And the guy made so much bank. And the best part is, as far as I know, Hershey's never like backstabbed the guy either. At least maybe up until his death, he didn't screw him over.
And when he died, they did.
I know when they died, maybe yeah. But then
they stabbed him up just to make sure.
Exactly. And then the guy who started Nestle, he's like he actually started with the Butterfingers. The first was a product placement in a Shirley Temple film. And literally revolutionized. You got to watch this episode. It's amazing. He revolutionized advertising just from that one thing, and then it blew up. And then his advertising, and then he actually stole Baby Ruth's name, altered it a little bit, and then won the fucking lawsuit against that Baby Ruth, the baseball player, was putting against him. Like,
well, Babe Ruth, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah,
that's how they won.
It's
like, are you a baby? No. Okay, I win.
Yeah. So it's a very extremely, and then I think it's the next episode is the Coke versus Pepsi, which my wife and I are very excited for.
It's funny. I always thought I was a Pepsi lover, and then I went to an amusement park and they were doing a blind taste test. I did a blind taste test. I'm like, "Oh, that one's way better than this one." They're like, "Oh, that's Coke." I'm like, "Well, all right then. Apparently, I prefer Coke."
there is like kind of a thing there though, because one, I think Pepsi is sweeter. So like if you like,
I feel it's
yeah.
But if you like, I find I'm a Coke person. I enjoy canned Coke or whatever. But like if you get one from a fast food place, they like McDonald's has their own special blend of Coke and Sprite. So like a McDonald's Sprite is the most crisp thing in the world, and it tastes so good.
You know
and it's
why?
Because they have their own like unique mix.
Yeah. It's also because not only that, but McDonald's is the only one that is, for whatever reason in their contract, they're the only company that does this. Coca-Cola puts their products into metal cylinders instead of giving them like the bags of syrup like everybody else gets.
So I'm getting iron. I'm iron deficient. That must be why I love it.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah, they're the only ones.
Got anemia? Go to McDonald's. You're all set.
But yeah, that's
don't do that. Don't do that.
Their Coke tastes so different and it tastes so much better because they blend it for them. They put it basically in a keg, and then that's how they give it to them. So yeah, it's amazing.
But even like other places too, because if they're getting it from a bag and then maybe they use a little bit more of the bubbles or whatever, their bubbles are a little bit like not as flat as other places. I remember there was some random pizza joint in Vermont, like family owned, that I had the greatest Coca-Cola of my life, and it was just like from a pitcher. I'm sure they made it in the back. Like I remember to this day, I was like 8, and for whatever reason, I was like, "This is bringing me to life right now."
Stacey got me the Coca-Cola Insiders Club for last year, so they send you test products throughout the year. Like this, so that isn't up yet. That was pretty cool. So I got to taste that Coca-Cola coffee that they made it just came out a little while ago. It's Coke and coffee mixed together.
I had one of those. It's actually not that bad.
Yeah, they had it a while ago. Like, called Coke Black. It was terrible. Right. They redid it and released it like pretty recently. It's actually not bad. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they have carbonated coffee as a thing, so I would imagine it's not bad.
That's what this is. Carbonated coffee with a little bit of cola flavor. It's actually pretty good.
Have you been to Coke World in Vegas?
Yes.
No.
All right.
Shocker.
So, Becca, literally, you get the sampler, the world sampler. You get
that's really fun.
You get 2 trays that they literally have to stack and they give it to you. And it's not just like a little bit of it's like a good fucking chunk of each one, and literally it's different flavors of Coke from around the world, and it lists off what country it's from and what like the flavor is and the origin of the flavor. Like there's this whole write up on all the sheets on the trays, but it's like a dozen or 15 different flavors or something like that. It's a lot to handle, but it's amazing. Like it's one of those like it's literally like the Small World ride in like on your tray that you're trying. It's the weirdest.
Epcot actually had a similar attraction for a long time. You go into a store in Epcot and they have different sodas from around the world you could try. You go around and give them a shot.
Oh, that's what
I think that's gone now, unfortunately.
Yeah, probably. I mean, all the self-serve soda machines are all down in the entire world. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, if you go to Vegas, which I actually, even if you don't gamble, there's so much to do in Vegas. You got to go to Vegas at least once.
Yeah.
I don't want to go
only once.
Big thing that I learned about Vegas, and people always tell me like, don't go there for like a week. Go there for like 3 days. And I was like, we went for a little over a week, and yeah, about 3 or 4 days in, you're like, I am really overstimulated. I am losing my mind. This is too long.
Well, my wife and I were different. So actually, it was 6 months after we met. It was my 30th birthday, and I was already pre-planning this trip with somebody else, and then they ended up having to bail, and so my now wife took the spot, and we planned a 10-day trip. And again, everybody said the same thing. They're like, "You're fucking crazy." Blah blah. We had the time of our life. The first 2 days we dedicated to we rented an SUV. We went out to Death Valley and Grand Canyon. And my wife surprised me by taking me to was it the Roadkill Cafe on Route 66, which, without knowing, my father had mentioned it my entire life. Still mentions it to this day, and we got to go. And our dollar bill with our signatures on it is up in the ceiling in the bar area. And then for the next couple of days, it was just like we hung around and we went to like different things or whatever. And then we went to a couple different shows. We went to in the basement of Excalibur, went to like the Knight's Jousting show where you have like dinner. Show, yeah. It sounds cheesy. It's like in Cable Guy when he goes to like the jousting thing and they have to eat with their hands and stuff. It's literally that, but it's amazing. We went and saw Carrot Top, which my now wife and a friend that came out for that weekend were both like, we're doing it. It's just for you, because I'm a huge fan of him. And we all 3 of us had an amazing time. And then we went to see Penn and Teller. That was amazing because we without realizing it, we had second row seats. So yeah, we ended up having, and then we also went to the pawn shop from Pawn Stars.
Oh, nice.
Which is beyond fucking tiny, by the way.
I mean, that's what pawn shops are.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not a glamorous thing to have a pawn shop. Maybe if they were like thrift flippers, like I've seen some crazy thrift stores before, but a pawn shop, never. They're always just little places.
That's all about turnaround pawn shops.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, all I really gotta say at this point is Taco Bell rules.
Apparently. So what's our topic?
Taco Bell right there, man.
What's our topic for next time, Jimmy?
Our taco. Sorry.
Our taco for next time.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't have it pulled up. Crap.
I think we're gonna go back to some media. We might be talking about some TV shows. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Guilty pleasures, I think. Next
yes, the guilty pleasures episode. Yeah, I was about to say it's either that or it was gonna be growing up geeky. One of the two.
Yeah, we're doing that. We're doing that one after. That'll be 2 weeks from now.
That'll be episode 5.
Or two episodes from now. Yeah, week 5. Cool.
So I love how I'm plugging episode 5 before we do episode 4.
Stay tuned, everyone.
We're very organized over here.
Oh yeah.
Well, I love how we got more organized for this, like for going for, and then it just fell off. And I steamrolled Becca twice, and
no, you steamrolled me once, and that one.
Oh, okay, so you fucked.
It was an equal steamrolling.
Yes, it was good. It was
okay, good. Okay, so we both. Okay, so next time you guys steamroll me, and then we'll steamroll Schofield.
Okay, that's the show, guys. Thanks. I steamrolled you.
All right.
Hit the button, Jimmy.
Which button do I? Oh. Okay, bye.
We're trapped.